our main thing will be to focus on Microsoft Azure and basic key terms or basic keywords what we should know in Azure. We will be taking that, and as you all will be starting on, or I will be guiding you through the basic things with which you can start with Microsoft Azure as well. Microsoft have certain plans, free plans, which you can utilize and try your hands on Azure as well. And then we'll go straight into the demo where I have one application setup, basic, simple Laravel, the default Laravel setup, and that we will try to push it on Azure, Microsoft Azure. And during this entire time, in case anyone of you are having any questions, feel free to ask at any time. You can pause me and I'll be happy to take questions as and when we are going, because I believe sometimes we may not be waiting till the end. So in case you have any questions or doubts, and I'll try my best to sort out or clear your doubts. Okay, so shall we start? I don't see any comments or something, so I think Abbas, you have to help me with that. So I hope everyone is okay, and we'll start with some basic things. So when we talk about Azure, Microsoft, or something, first thing is cloud computing. I assume that all of you are already aware what cloud computing is and what it is doing. So we will be not going very in detail. So it's like delivery of computing services, which is like RAM, hard disk, network services, etc., over the internet, and which gives us faster innovation and flexible resources, along with that economies of scale, which means it is very cheap if you are trying to host and add on your same platform. So that is what cloud computing is. And the service providers, you all must be aware, we have a lot of service providers, straight away taking from AWS to IBM Cloud and Azure, Google, Alibaba, IBM, many things, and even certain private players as well. So cloud computing, I think, is the new way, or new way of computing or developing the websites. If we talk about in our profession, this is where all people or all the best applications and apps will be running on the cloud computing. We will see today one of the service provider, which is Azure. And basically most of the times the terminology of Azure and other service providers is basically same, but there may be some changes. So I'm just taking few key terminology here so that you all are aware what, because this all things again we need to configure in our application as well. Okay, so the first is region. As the name suggests, I think you all are aware, like the region defines the physical location on the map, like where the actual data centers are located, and they are again connected with high speed internet, interconnected network, and cooling powers and all those things, which they update it on the map of Azure. Same way we have for AWS and Google as well. In each regions we have different data centers. So data centers are actual space where all the hardwares, the network connectivity, the cooling power, the database everything is configured in the data centers, and they have all the setup which can be connected globally. Next is resource. I think resource and resource group, these two are certain new terms, but I would say they're just, the name is different. But as we know, the individual computers or networking data, for example, if you're using the virtual machines, the storage, SQL services, or any machine learning services, anything, they that all Azure call it as in resources. And resource group, that is the collection of all those resources which shares the same life cycle, permission, and policy. Excuse me. So resource group is very important, and whenever you are creating any new resource in Azure, that must be part of one of the resource groups. So resource groups you can create on your own. The main point, the main thing is they will share the same life cycle, permissions, and policy. So it's like you're creating a certain group. So whenever you apply any one rule or policy on one resource group, whatever resources, for example, database or virtual machines or machine learning, anything, whatever resources are part of that group, that particular policy or updates will be applicable to that. So it's like folder structure, you can understand. And in that folder, whatever resources you have applied on all those resources, the particular permissions or policy, whatever you're applying, that will be there. But that is a ground rule that each and every resources should be some part of the sum of the resources group, which we will see in practical as well. But resources and resource group. These are, I believe, the two new terms which are there in Microsoft Azure, and this is required for any of the resources whatever we are creating. Okay, few more terminologies. Geography. So the area of the world containing one Azure region is we call as a geography, and it has the data residency, the compliance boundaries, and everything. Availability zone. I think this is unique. Again, sorry, not unique, but it's the same term. So the unique physical location within a region which is having the independent data centers, power, coolings, and networking. Okay. So this is the complete availability region for Azure, and I have also given the link if you want to see. So as you all know, this data centers keeps on updating. They keep on adding the new data centers and updates. So this is the view of Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is having different availability zones, and the new availability zones and everything is updated here. So we can see in India we have three things: West India, Central India, and South India. So whenever you move on into Azure portal, which is portal.azure.com, in which we are actually seeing all these resources. There you will see we will find our, if you wish to host it in Asia or in our Indian region, then we have the three availability zones there. So South India and West India are available regions, where the Central India is just announced, and maybe in a couple of months we can see or we can host our application there as well. So this is a basic map. In case if you wish to go into more details, you can click on the link below, and it will help you to see if there is any new changes or updates on the same. Okay, so in each Azure region, we have different availability zones. So I hope you all are knowing how the high speed or high resiliency is made available in all the cloud regions, where they have more than one servers or one availability zones, to be very specific, and they all are interconnected with each other. So whenever we are selecting any region, we may not be aware in which availability zone our code resides, but we do know that what is the region for that, and that is the physical separation of the zones. And Microsoft offers the 99.99% uptime, virtual machines uptime, for all the VMs or services, whatever it is providing. Okay, so I think these were the basic terms for Azure. Now let's see certain other things which are not directly related, but we should be aware about. So the main availability zones in Azure falls under the two category: the zonal service and zone redundant service. So whenever redundant, in the sense wherever we need more than one replica or copy of our application, is what we call redundant service, and zonal services like standard virtual machines or disk or IP addresses and so on and so forth. So zonal redundant service will be example for SQL database or any other database where we are keeping more than one copy of that service, of that resource, in terms of Azure, of that resource. Then it is into the zone redundant services. This all will not be checked, or we don't have to add it into our portal, which is portal.azure, where we will be installing. But this is good to know, like how the availability zones are divided, because this is where something different we have apart from AWS, which is of course the cloud leader as of now. So this is what we have. Azure services are mainly bifurcated into four sections, which I believe this again is same as what we see for another service providers as well. But of course, this is again Microsoft, so they may have their own style of bifurcating. This is just a categorization. So we have compute services, in which we have the virtual machines, which is both Linux and Windows. Other cloud services, app services, we have, for example, mobile apps, web apps, logical apps, API functions, and function apps. We have batch for large scale parallel and compute jobs, and as well as container service, fabric, etc. That all falls into the compute service. Next is the data service. So as the name suggests, this is where the storage takes place, Azure storage, and it has different services. We have file services, blob services, queue, simple storage, SQL database, Redis, etc. And the other two services are application services and network services. So application includes the Azure directory, the AD, Active Directory, which helps to build and operate the applications. There are different service buses which are connected with the distributed system, which is across the globe, and they are processing big data or media services, or various different services, whatever machine learning and all, whatever services are provided. So that is where it is falling under application services. And last is network service. So this is not only the four network services and all, but these are the main four categories where I think all of us may be interacting in one or the another way, where when we have to set up a server or whenever we have to build up a server. So these are the main four services where we are having. Okay, so this is all what I had you for the slides. Any questions till now?